Hi everyone, it is Jane's 2025 reading wrap-up. I believe this is the 6th annual Malloy reading roundup. I'm wearing my book earrings from my Aunt Leslie. My house has 4 boys in it because we're having a cousin sleepover tonight. And so I'm choosing to do this on YouTube instead of Facebook Live this year, just because it'll make the formatting easier. My name is backwards on my shirt. A band mom made this for me. It's amazing. But yes, so I'm going to be showing you my slideshow and giving you all my stats. 2025 was a great year of reading, lots more audiobooks. I'm going to talk about some tandem reading and everything that I read. So let's go. So while my computer warms up, let me show you my 2025 reading journal. This was gifted to me by a student. I loved being in this one this year. This is my absolutely unholy amount of clutter on my desk. And so it's a whole thing. But I was really casual with this year. I tried not to stress myself out. I gave myself a genres page, method page, and then I think I gave myself a monthly page as well. But each book that I read got its own page in here. I did DNF some books. Some books got more quotes than others, obviously. And then I showed what kind of book it was when I was done with it. Some of them did not get a lot of quotes. Some of them got a lot of quotes. So yes, some of them I listened to and didn't have a whole lot of time to sit down and quote. Others I tandem read and I had lots and lots of time. And so, yes, but I'm not all the way done with it for the year. But I really enjoy journaling and I like keeping a book journal. I'm definitely going to keep this up for next year. Okay, here we go. Jane's best books of 2025. How I read, so 13 audiobooks, 6 on the Kindle, 14 physical books, and then 33 tandem reads. That means that I was listening to the audiobook while also having the physical book alongside of that. That is obviously my favorite way to read, so that I can have it physically to give it away to people when I'm done and I can see the words on the page. What I read, I gave myself a lot more categories this year, and I started to get really specific. So 11 romance, 9 nonfiction, those are a big chunk. 7 general fiction, 7 hockey romance, just hockey romance. I like what I like. What can I say? 6 young adult, 5 within the Black experience, 4 history, 3 fantasy, 2 memoir, 2 murder mystery, and then 1 poetry, 1 historical fiction, and 2 Christian, within the Christian realm type books. Criteria for 5 stars. It must be well written, must have good information that I like sharing. Emotional staying power. I'm thinking about the author or those characters or the setting for a long time, even if that emotion is bad. Believable romance chemistry. Yep, I gave my first 1-star review this year because of the lack of romantic chemistry. The fictional world is one I wish to visit if it's, a good fantasy. Okay, so first of my best reads of the year, I didn't have a number 1, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, magical realism. It's set in kind of modern day, but it's about the mythology of the afterlife, enemies to lovers, but no miscommunication trope. Excellent writing and imagery. This was so good. There's 2 more in the series. My book club got me into this one, and I think some members of my book club have already read the other 2. This is the only one I've read. Bright Young Women. I loved this book. Basically historical fiction / murder mystery about the 1970s serial killer. It was engaging and well written with complex characters that I absolutely hated. I love the documentary style while still being a narrative. It calls out the lack of sensitivity we have towards victims, which is really important right now. And so yes, this was excellent. I listened to it, but I also had it physically. So good. Firekeeper's Daughter and the Warrior Girl Unearthed. This was young adult, a very unique and intriguing take on being an Indigenous teenager and what that means. I think we need to be having a lot more conversations about being an Indigenous person within the United States. It was just so captivating, so amazing. Themes of justice, generational bigotry, and ceremony pride. Interesting mystery that really puts you in their shoes. So good. I'd want to do a unit on this book, this duology, if I taught English. I thought the themes were just absolute perfection. The Road Trip, actually, I think this might be my favorite book of the year. The longing of a lost love that really wasn't over was absolutely incredible. The chemistry was incredible. Being stuck on a road trip with your best friend, your ex, and his toxic best friend, set in England. The dual time perspective was also really good and really well written. The Night and the Moth, my book club had me reading this. The medieval fantasy was a magic system within a religion, and it was really intriguing. Sometimes they got boring and repetitive, but that's okay. Lovable characters that I'm still obsessed with. Can't wait for the second book to come out next year in this series. Awake, you know I love Jen Hatmaker. She's the absolute best. She took the worst year of her life in her divorce and wrote a book about all of her feelings about it and then reflections within that. I finally got to see her talk live. It was incredible. Shout out to Shelley Harrington for saying hi to me that night and giving me a big hug. That was awesome. So another author that I actually got to meet, it was Tessa Bailey. And so these were my hockey romance picks of the year. This is the third book in this series. Obviously you can read each one individually. Also with the Vancouver Storm series, this was the fourth book in this series. I absolutely loved it. This is kind of a weird premise, but you have to get into it. It's kind of insta love, but it was actually so great. Again, this is my book club with Ashley and Dee and the Tessa Bailey. And yeah, the chemistry in this was awesome. The story was awesome. Just so good. Enemies to lovers, insta love, hockey romance. On Our Best Behavior, how women have been manipulated to thinking they're less than through the guise of religious zeal. So how can we continue to push that narrative, in today's society and be prepared to be really angry? But the info and the research was top notch along with amazing writing. I can't remember if I heard this about this on a podcast or on Instagram, but I immediately put it on my shelf, like on my holds list at the library. It was just, it was so good. The Sum of Us. Basically what I wrote down in my book journal about this book was, this is why we can't have nice things. And if you're ever thinking about the lack of socialism and the lack of infrastructure within our communities, is basically because of racism. And so hearing this narrative of not allowing socialist programs gain any traction in this country because of it would also benefit a minority community is depressing. But we need to know all of this history so we can continue to combat it. Very, very good. I listened to it and then I bought the physical copy of it because it was so good. Never Enough. I've heard a lot of my friends talk about the anxious generation, and based on what I'm hearing about that book, this book is extremely similar. As a parent, a teacher, and a person who lives in a high-achieving community, this was excellent. Based on others, that again is very similar to the anxious generation, the hyper-competitive environment that American youth are immersed in mainly stems from a lack of safety nets and resources, which comes from capitalism running our government. We combat this by showing our children and students what we value: rest, friendship, community, family time, not grades, GPA, rankings, resume boosters, and trophies. So good. I listened to it. I bought the physical copy. If you want to borrow it, please let me know. Highly recommend this for parents, especially secondary parents of kids who are entering that, competition realm of their lives. The best audiobook I listened to this year was Canadian Boyfriend because this guy was a narrator. Joshua Jackson, I love you. I love you. Thank you. So good. Biggest disappointments. Ooh, I forgot that I put this on here. I'm going to continue to hate read the Fourth Wing series, everyone. The first book was really good. This was hecka confusing. Did not care for it. Here's the 1 star I gave this year. Yuck. I did not care for this book. I'm going to watch the movie, but the book was just weird. I did not like it at all. This was voted the #1 New York Times editors' #1 book of all time. Of all time. It was garbage. I hated it. I truly hated it. I hate read all of these books. I'm going to continue to hate read this series because FOMO's real. Honorable mentions, An Inconvenient Cop, very, very good. About racism within the policing system, just excellent. Window Shopping, another great Tessa Bailey read. Palaces for the People, why we need physical places for people to hang out and not spend money. The Love Haters, I got to go see Catherine Center again, and then Sunrise on the Reaping. Very excited about that movie. I'm completely entrenched in the Hunger Games world. I'm definitely a Hunger Games girl as opposed to a Harry Potter girl. So what reading teaches me, you guys, your value is not determined by your productivity. I love this. Reading makes me, as a mom and as a teacher, it forces me to sit and do nothing. And we don't do that enough. And it puts value on that for me. And I'm able to look back and see all of the accomplishments that I made through reading. And that brings me great joy. You should follow me on Goodreads and Storygraph. I'm Jane Panda Malloy on Instagram. I love Storygraph. If you ever want to do a buddy read, my email address is jane.e.yonda@gmail.com for Goodreads and Storygraph. Okay, I love you guys so much. I think I'm going to make this in under 12 minutes. Okay, bye.